a lot of military at our little intersection. And they were in their gun shooters.
Yeah, they were geared up.
Down there, remember how this is? Look, we're seeing new stuff. You're not stuck in that little box anymore. Just peeking out over a little balcony at the same old trees and the same old birds every day. Look at this. Look at how exciting it is. Aren't you happy? Checked out of the hotel. We were there in Conakry at the hotel for 2 weeks. So add the week where we were stranded in Kundara before our breakdown, and this was a 3-week delay when we're already up against beating rainy season. But we are back on the road, and we are headed quickly towards our next country, which will be Sierra Leone. But first, we got to get out of this city. And if you remember the ride in, or you remember any of our filming while we were in the taxis, that is not going to be an easy thing to do. So hold on while we get out of Conakry and start heading south towards Sierra Leone. You ready, Curt?
Excited to be back in the van, guys. It feels good. And oh, by the way, the power still feels nice. Actually, the van seems to be running the best it has in a long time.
Let's go. Buckle up. I'm going to tell you that even if it's not called the city of Conakry, all the little sub-cities outside of it, whatever all their names are, it just took us over 2 hours of full-on crazy city driving to get out of there, but we've done it. We're kind of out in the rural areas. It's gone to a 2-lane road instead of a road that's 10 lanes wide but fits enough cars for 20 lanes.
Well, we had to get a long way out of the city, and to be honest with you, it just felt kind of like when we were coming in. that the city just kept going and going and going. We are getting close to the border, and every time you get close to a border here in Africa, it's always the same thing. The number of stops increases, and sometimes here it's hard to know whether you're supposed to stop or not. Some of them are police, some of them are military, and some of them are aduana, more like customs, and so you really don't know. A lot of times they have signs up there and there's no police. You slow down, you look, there's nobody there, you go ahead. But sometimes also they have a rope all the way across the road with all sorts of flags, so you're not getting past. So anyway, it gets a little bit confusing on where the border is sometimes and what's a police stop, but we are getting really close, guys. So that's for trucks. So this must be for cars.
Let's see what an X-ray is.
In 500 meters, make your U-turn.
So here's the helpers.
Right there, I think.
What?
He was telling you to park right there. So park right here.
Park right here.
You guys know that at the borders, we cannot film. So you have to just depend on whatever footage we get from the dash cam. But I will tell you, we pulled up to the Guinea immigration and customs export area and whisked through there pretty darn fast. All we really had to do was get our passport stamped out. That only took us like 10 minutes. We exchanged some money there, where we did decent compared to some countries before on with the fee you pay to exchange money. But we turned all our Guinea francs into Sierra Leone's money, and we've learned that for ease, 20 Leones is basically $1 US.
And 20 Leones is also their biggest denomination.
Yeah, so your stack of money is like giant like this, but that's okay. That happens down here in these countries. Then we drove 200 or 300 feet and we entered Sierra Leone just as easy as we did leaving Guinea. But something I don't think we have told you during all of the adventure, that's what I'm going to call it, of the breakdown now that it's over, the adventure that happened in Guinea and all of the stress and chaos that came along with that, I don't think we told y'all, for those that followed the journey, you know we were trying to do this without having a document for our vehicle called a CDP, a Carnet de Passage, which is basically, just consider it, if you don't know much about it, a passport for the van. Some countries down here require it, and you can kind of work your way through. With all the stress that was going on, we pulled the trigger. We paid $6,000 or $7,000 for it.
It was expensive.
Yeah, we get some of that back when we leave Africa. But anyway, we did that. So we now have a CDP for those that are following along and understand what that means. And we just used it for the first time. It's really easy.
For the first time, and honestly, Sierra Leone was by far and above the easiest border we've had to cross.
I think we're in and out of everything. Stopped to even get some bananas for road snack food in less than an hour.
Yeah, and guess what, guys? We're in Sierra Leone!
Welcome to Sierra Leone. One more thing for those that are following and want to know how the borders work, because you're going to try to do this one day. Once you get through immigration in Sierra Leone, you go about 500 feet down the road and you're going to get stopped where you have to get out and pay a road tax. Just kind of like a toll. And they give you a sticker to keep on your dash. That was about $7 or $8, right?
Yeah, $7.50.
Yeah, so just for the ones that are going to try this journey, that's something that happens here. We are on the road. We got 2 or 3 hours to our hopeful campsite. We are in a brand new country. Let's go, guys. Oh, they speak English here. Makes everything a little bit easier.
All right, we've been in Sierra Leone now for a couple hours. Snow is at the wheel, and we've been here long enough for me to give you some of my first impressions of this country, because as we crossed the border and got further into Sierra Leone, there's definitely some distinct differences I want to share with you. First of all, we are seeing a lot less rubbish. Now, there's still a bit, but it is a pronounced difference in that. The second thing is the houses are a little bit more, how would you describe it, more stylistic. Maybe the rooftops have a little more design.
Yeah, they definitely have peaks instead of just flat or slanted, and they all have a porch. Porches are very important here, and I don't think we realized that porches weren't a thing before until we get here, and every single house has a front porch with a front door, kind of like welcome to my home feeling. We didn't see that in some of the previous countries.
Now, the dwellings are still humble, meaning that a lot of them are made from mud blocks or mud and sticks, and there are also a lot of concrete block houses, but in the vein of sort of more, a lot of them have like a smooth stucco finish, and even some of them are painted, which we did not see a lot of that in Guinea. Now, additionally, we're seeing loads more palm trees, banana trees, and fruit trees, and things like that. And we're also seeing more of a variety of cashews.
At the police stops, there's the women and a lot of young girls come running up to sell cashews. We bought this jar of cashews for about $6 US. Cashews.
And I will say also, Sierra Leone, at least as we've been traveling, now Conakry was a huge city and it expanded out into the suburbs and beyond, but it feels like there's a lot less people in Sierra Leone. Now, it's a Saturday, so maybe we're not seeing so many taxis and all that type of stuff because it's the weekend, but it's just not quite as busy and fast-paced.
Yeah, and something we need to tell you guys, we are behind schedule because of the big adventure in Guinea. So we are not taking you to the city of Freetown. We are not going to the capital of Sierra Leone. We're bypassing it and heading on to Eco Lodge type area that we want to see before we leave here. We feel bad. The same thing is going to happen in our next country. We need to really cross a few things off our list that we wanted to do and see, but we have to make up some time. So I'm sorry, Freetown. I'm sorry we're skipping you because we know you have some pretty cool stuff, but we have to get out of here before the rain comes.
Well, additionally, we just had a lot of time in the city.
We're tired of the city.
You guys know we're not city folk. And we really, really, really enjoy driving across the countryside. And I think we've already kind of shared with you that in Africa, similar to Latin America, most of the houses, most of the business, most of the commerce all happens next to the road. So in terms of culture, people, food, all that type of stuff, markets, you see it a lot by driving. And so we're really, really enjoying the drives here.
And another thing, a few things have just, I don't want to say drastically changed, but a big difference is it's greener here and there are a lot of palm trees. But also when we're going across some of these bridges, we're crossing some pretty good sized rivers that are really, really pretty with these big giant rocks in them. And most of the rivers are like a community area. Now it's hard for us to see because, we're up on the road and they're down by the water. But it's where the kids go to play. I think they probably take baths in the river. They're definitely doing their laundry in the river. But there's been a lot more of that here.
There really has. And the rivers are beautiful. The water looks really clear, blue, and also the big rocks and all that. But I just want to let you guys know that the driving part of this is something that we really enjoy. Additionally, in terms of weather, it is hot. So right now, midday, 2, 3 o'clock, it's about 100 degrees Fahrenheit. And so we've got a couple places where we've thought about stopping, but it's just kind of hot. And so we kind of feel like maybe pushing through and driving might be a better thing from that perspective. So that's what we're going to do. And
another thing that we know happens, I don't know if we just caught it on the camera, but when you get out in these areas, they have what they call bush meat, and it'll just be something that somebody killed out here in the wild, and they'll have it on the side of the road for sale, and they eat the animals that they can kill in the wild here. And we just passed a monkey on the side of the road that had been killed and was for sale for bush meat.
Yeah.
And that makes me sad. Not for any other reason than I love how cute and cuddly monkeys look. I know these people have to survive, and that's their culture, and it's how they live. But that was tough.
So, we're going to show you guys a lot of driving scenes as we come through here. We're going to show you what we see, but I want you to know we don't really feel like we're making a huge sacrifice. We are enjoying the drive, and we have picked out what we believe are going to be some really epic stopping points. So, don't worry, we're going to have fun as we drive through these countries. Alright guys, it has been a long day on the road, and well, I think we left probably the hotel around 9 maybe?
9 or 9:30.
9 or 9:30, and it is, well, 5:30, and so we've covered a lot of territory. We're about 12 minutes from our camp spot.
Our hopeful camp spot.
Hopeful, we don't have anything set in stone. And, well, we were driving and we heard another noise.
So scary.
And it's really scary because we're hearing it when snow accelerates. And that's...
The van has run beautifully all day until like 20 minutes ago. And it still ran good, but it was a definite squeal when I was accelerating.
There was a noise. There wasn't, she said there was no difference in power, nothing like that, but when we get stopped here we'll check it out, and man, we're nervous. Our fingers are crossed, guys. Let's hope it's nothing major. We are off-road going to our spot.
Can we make it through that? It's pretty steep.
I think you need to stay to the right. You don't think so?
You don't think our butt's gonna
Well,
drive?
I don't know. I think we need to. Here, let me get out.
We can get through. I think we could turn around up there if we needed to.
Alright guys, so this is our parking option right here. Possibly. Looks like we got some low branches here. They're light wispy branches. So I think we'd park here if indeed we did. Over on the side of the road. This is a trail that goes down to the river. And there is a little pretty river down there. I believe they probably use it for laundry and bathing. But the conundrum is, to get here, we have to go through this section right here. And if you can see, it's pretty low and then comes up pretty fast.
Can we stay?
Semi-flat spot out there. In some regards it's really nice, in some regards I think we can make it.
Well, I think we have to turn around right up there anyway. Or back all the way out. I mean, if it starts to look like I'm gonna hit, we can stop and back all the way out.
Alright, we got parked, the hood is up. I did a quick check on everything and I saw 0 leaks. The engine still looks clean. From what I could tell, all the hoses seem tight. I couldn't see visually any problems. That doesn't mean we don't have any problems, but everything looks good. The noise did dissipate a little bit later in the drive, but it's still obviously a concern for us. We are parked back here. We made it through the road, that low spot. We ended up scratching the bottom, which was a concern of ours. We might get the recovery boards out tomorrow so we don't do the same thing on the way out. We didn't do any damage, fortunately. This is a bit of wild spot that we're staying at. However, this is village property. And as we came through Sierra Leone, you may have noticed, maybe not, but all the houses were along the road were in sort of groupings, and there would be like a well there and maybe, I don't know, 10 houses, 12 houses, maybe on each side of the road. Well, that is kind of a village, and this is a village right here. And so someone came by here and he was really cool, Francis, and I talked to him and I asked him, do we need to go to the village chief to ask for permission to stay here? And he said that would be a very good idea, just in case something happened to us. He says very safe, but out of courtesy it's the right thing to do. So he's gonna come back and escort me over to the village, so I'm gonna go over and talk to the chief and make sure we have permission to stay here for the night. And yeah, we're hopefully we're here, because we're not really ready to go anyplace. So we'll see how this turns out. Can I see your juice? Yeah. What is the juice? It's palm water.
Yeah.
Ah, okay. Look at that.
African beverage.
African beverage.
Yeah.
What a beautiful river. And what's your name? Musa. It's nice to meet you. I'm Curt.
They met both cats.
Did you meet the cats? My name is Curt. Curt. Easy, Curt.
So, I don't think all of them speak English very well.
Oh, you speak English?
They all a little, all of them, yes.
Did you already give them a card?
No, they had lollipops.
Oh.
And they had some water. Curt is back from his adventure of walking to the village with Francis to get permission to stay here. And obviously he did, so this is our campsite. But what y'all don't know is while he was gone, we had visitors here at the van. A whole slew of little kids. It started out with like 10, and about halfway through, half of them had to go home. But they were very, very curious and very, very social, and did not mind just hanging out and staring. But I want to tell you one thing that was a little bit fascinating. They asked for some water, and I turned on the bright light so they could see in the van. They wanted to see in the van, but I told them I couldn't open the door because of mosquitoes. But I got a cup out and got them some water out of the faucet here in our kitchen, and they were absolutely amazed and shocked and had never seen anything like that. And when I handed that cup of water out, they just about fought over it. Not because they were thirsty. I think it was more fascinating to them that it came out of a faucet. So that kind of tells you they don't have running water here. And I confirmed it, and it's something I just didn't even think about. But now Curt is going to whip us up some dinner. We're going to go to bed. The kitties had a really nice about an hour with the door open. And I think they remember why they love the van so much, because a couple of birds were fluttering by and they got different smells. So it's our first night back in the van and everything is going beautifully. Right, Curty?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, to be honest with you, we're not level. To be honest with you, we got a tricky ride out of here tomorrow on the road. And to be honest with you, we need to get this little thing checked out.
The squeak?
But to be honest with you, it's awesome.
We got a few things going on, but we don't care. We're back in the van, and we'll just get the squeak checked out as soon as we can, and we're going to go from there. We'll see y'all in the morning.
Good morning, everyone. We had a great first night back in the van last night, and this morning the sweet thing is we wake up to the jungle, and my jungle kitty gets a walk, and Van is not far behind. We had our routine breakfast and coffee in hand, and my boy gets to do some exploring. Good morning. We still need to decide what we're going to do today. We've got a couple options. We've got an eco lodge that we've been eyeballing up the way. It's a couple hours. The other thing that's kind of on our mind, in Monrovia, in the next country, we found a Mercedes place that could maybe take a look at the van. So we need to decide whether we're going to stick around another day and explore Sierra Leone, which is kind of what we'd really like to do, or if we're going to let the stress get the better part of us and get down the road and try to get to a mechanic, or just move on down the road. We don't know yet. We haven't decided. We're going to walk the cats, let our minds unwind, and figure it out. So we didn't stay long here at this little spot. It was just an overnight spot, but it was really, really cool, authentic experience. And you know, out of respect for the elders in the village, when I went and had a meeting with them, I did put all my cameras away. And so unfortunately I did not get any, but I can tell you that meeting is something that I will kind of remember forever. It was just such a unique, authentic experience meeting with them. And I'll just tell you, as we were kind of talking, explaining pleasantries or whatever, and they mostly speak their native language. So English is a second language here, and most of them do speak English. However, some of the people of the village, they speak English, but not as well as their native language. In any event, there was a woman who was kind of, well, they were all looking at me, but I introduced myself, and she said her name was Nancy. And the chief of the village said, "That's my wife." And I said, "Oh, you're a lucky man." And that got a big round of laughs from everybody in the village. But this right here, down here, is where everybody kind of comes down from the village and does their laundry. They play, they swim, they get cool, they bathe, all that stuff down here. And it's kind of nice because if you can look at it, there's all different sections down here of the water. And so people can kind of have their own little place. I'm sure during rainy season, the water level's a little bit higher, but right now it's pretty nice. I've definitely seen some fish in this water, even though we haven't been here too long. But absolutely, the kids come down here and play, and it's a good time. Now, there's about 1,000 people in this village, and Francis said that they have 4 churches in the village, and so there is both the Muslim and the Christian religion, and so they kind of accept all religions and that type of thing. But it's just really a unique, authentic place, and from the road you really can't see this. And we've come across here and we've seen the various the rivers we can see down, and we can kind of maybe see a few people. But this is definitely back along the road. There's a path down here, and this is a place where all the people of the village come. And there's some gardens up along the edge, but wow, what an absolutely special place. But we're just staying for the night. Hey, how are you doing? Good morning. Good morning. And just such friendly people. So we stayed here for free for night. We got this little challenging thing that we got to get out of this morning on the road. So we're going to get out of there, and then we have a decision to make as we move down the road. So we'll see how that goes. As you can see, this is an absolutely beautiful sort of place on our planet. And I don't know, the Eco Lodge is definitely calling my name, but we'll see what happens, guys. All right, guys, so the problem with this is the length of the van. And so as we go down here in the front in this ditch and come out, and the front starts to rise up, the back wants to drag. So we're gonna ease this on through. And let me walk around back here and I'll show you what's gonna happen back here is this. All right, easy, easy. So you can see how close the back is. But as she goes up, that back's gonna come down. Easy. Stop. Easy, real slow. Go. Go.
No or go?
Go.
Gonna have to give it gas.
All right.
You ready?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wanna go up the hill?
Yeah. Go.
You got this.
Yep, go. There it is, right there. See that, guys? And it ripped the pipe out of the back right there. Hey, look at the van. Tipping, bucking, pulling, fighting. But she made it to live another day. All right, we're okay. We only ripped one pipe out. So there's the damage. And there's the pipe. We'll put that back in, no problem. That thing's falling out anyway. Nope, we're good. All right, guys, we left our camp spot and got on the road and started getting down the road. And yesterday, snow was driving when the turbo area started making a noise. And, well, it's making it again today. I can't say that it's got worse. We haven't lost power, but I can definitely tell that when we get into the push the gas, that it is a noise caused by the turbo system of the van. Now, it sounds more like maybe a leak in a hose or something. Maybe a clamp didn't get clamped together. We're hoping this turbo's not failing. It's a brand new turbocharger, so obviously it shouldn't. But there is no question in our mind that there's something wrong with the turbo system. The next city is in Liberia. The capital city is Monrovia. Now today is Sunday, so there is a Mercedes dealership there, but they're not open. The shop's not open today from what we can tell. We're probably about a 6-hour drive. So rather than doing any side excursions right now, we are laser focused. Obviously, we don't want to be broken down on the road again. We definitely don't want to be broken down on some side road while we're off doing some kind of excursion. So on one level, I'm super sad we're not going to get to explore more of Sierra Leone. But clearly, we need to take care of our safety and the van first, which is why we're going to go ahead. We're about an hour and a half from the border to Liberia. We're going to cross today and get as close to Monrovia as we can and try to get the van in the shop tomorrow and see if we can tell what's wrong. Now, our hopes is worst case scenario, it's a hose or something, but we really don't have any, we don't know. We just know from our experience that the turbo system is not behaving properly. It has been a nail biter to the border, but I just want to say we did not spend much time in Sierra Leone, and it breaks my heart because as we've continued to head south, it has become more lush, more green, more jungly, and well, just from a cultural perspective, from staying at that place, I really wanted to explore this place more. I'm sure there's animals, birds, and all that stuff, but the people here at every turn have been like so incredibly kind. And I know we say that a lot, but I mean, it's just, and so, but the van is definitely not working well, and so we need to go get it fixed.
Yeah. So we are probably about 10 minutes from the border crossing, and that's where we're going to wind this video down. You haven't heard much from me today, and it's because I am an anxious mess with the sound the van is making. So me being anxious is one thing, but the van, something is wrong with it, so we must skip a lot of beautiful stuff here and get to the city. So we will see y'all in the next video as we cross the border into Liberia. But goodbye to this amazing, beautiful country that we wished we could have stayed in longer. See y'all in a few days in Liberia. If you liked this video, be sure to hit that thumbs up button. It really helps us a lot. And if you want to see more of our videos, be sure to subscribe to our channel and hit that notification bell so you know when new videos come out. We'll see you guys in a few days from somewhere out here in the world. Cheers.